Hello, my name is Gabriella Fulton. I am a second-year Master of Professional Science student at the University of Miami, and my thesis project is on deep-sea corals and their habitats. Now, I'm sure everyone here knows about tropical coral reefs and their bright colors and beautiful fish, the cool sharks, but there are also whole communities of coral reefs thousands of feet below the surface. These reefs are typically called Lophelia mounds because Lophelia is the name of the main structure building coral down there. Now, Lophelia is a large branching coral and it grows in a ghost white color. The reason for the tropical coral reefs that you know about are being so colorful is because they grow with algae inside of them that require sunlight. Now, down thousands of feet below the surface, there is no sunlight. So the corals don't actually need to grow with this colorful algae, which is why it's so pale. Now, my thesis project is to try to understand how these deep sea corals live where they do and what other animals can live down there with them. I have been working alongside Dr. Sandra Brooke from Florida State University to study these deep sea corals. So in October of last year, a ship called the research vessel Point Sur went out into the middle of the Gulf Coast over an underwater cliff known as the Okeanos Ridge, which is along the continental shelf. The Okeanos Ridge is home to a large deep-sea Lophelia mound, so we went ahead and sent ROV robots down to the bottom with cameras and recorded the reef and all its occupants for 5 days. The goal of this was to get about 8 hours of data from each day, but just because of weather and depth restrictions, we only ended up getting about 6 hours. Plus, it took about a half an hour to 45 minutes each day at the beginning and the end to put the robot down to the bottom and also to pull it back out. So really didn't get as much data as we were hoping, but we did our best. But now it is my job to watch all 5 days of video over and over again so that I can name all the animals, the habitats, and the rock types that live down with the coral. So far, hundreds of different animals have been found living on deep sea reefs in the past decade or so. So if you ever like to eat calamari, shrimp, or even some fish, you have deep sea corals to thank for giving them a home to live and grow in. Now, another interesting fact about deep sea corals is the temperature that they live in. Now, because they live way below the sunlight, they also live in really cold waters. So the temperature of the ocean at beaches you normally swim in is usually in the 70 or 80 degree range, and that's due to just being sitting in the sun all day. But down in the deep water cliffs where these corals live, it's usually below 50 degrees, and they love it that way. So in fact, a really good way to know where to find all these corals and fish is by the temperature. So all marine animals have an ideal range that they can live in. For fish and sharks, if they find themselves in water that's too cold or too hot for them, they can just swim away. But corals are anchored into the rocks as soon as their life starts and they start to grow. So they always have to choose a place with the right temperature for them or they just won't survive. So this may be stressful for them, having only one shot to choose a home as soon as their life begins. However, this temperature range makes it possible for researchers like myself and Dr. Brooke to find and study these strange underwater animals. So with my thesis, I hope to understand why some corals can live in certain habitats, such as a more rocky or a more crowded environment, and how they survive better in different temperatures, and to find out who lives down there with them. I'm also hoping to spread the word about how cool deep sea coral reefs really are. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.